Well, I don't get to play that one very often anymore. I like that one.
What are we asking you?
What is up, everybody? Well, it's a long story how that. Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? We are back. I know everybody's so used to Gaming Beyond the Box, but this is not Gaming Beyond the Box. And I even almost said it. So we brought the show back. We're going to talk about everything scary, everything horror, macabre, things that give you goosebumps, make you stay awake at night.
Taxes.
Not NyQuil either. And we have a couple of people that you may know, and one I guarantee you don't know. So we're going to start with that person first. We'll have her introduce herself to you. Ferocious, tell us about yourself.
So I'm actually, let's just throw this out there. I'm actually Fuzzy's wife. I am the horror fan in the household. Been watching horrors since age 4 when I first got to see Halloween with my mom. Only film I've ever turned off that I thought was scary was You Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Rewatched that years later, and I'm like, what was I scared of in the first place? So
that was not a bad movie. Not at all.
Not at all.
All right, and then we have Mr. Fuzzy. What's up, Fuzzy?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Glad to be here. Glad we have my my wife, Fee, on here. And like she said, she's the horror fan in the house. I just get to sit and watch with her a lot of times. But I'm more of like the mainstream horror fan, or like zombie flick stuff. Everything from like 28 Days to, Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna go over some other things like Texas Chainsaw and some other stuff that I've watched in the past, but or more actually fairly recently. But yeah, kind of glad to be here. Talk about something a little different than gaming.
Yeah, because anything besides that. And then, of course, you know him from GBTV. What's up, Canada?
Just, living the dream, my dude. I'm very excited to be part of this, so thanks for bringing me in. My horror background kind of goes back to, I guess, I probably saw Christine when it first came out on video cassette back in the day, in the Stephen King movie with the possessed car, and I was kind of like intrigued by that, and then I was more or less raised by Jason, Freddy, Michael, Leatherface, Pinhead, all those guys. So I've never really turned my back on it. I love horror films. I do the weird ones. I do the super campy ones, which I really enjoy, and also mainstream as well, like Fuzzy.
Some of us grew up with Elvira and Chiller Theater.
Well, of course, Elvira. All right, yeah, Elvira's there for sure. I mean, you can't forget the Queen of the Darkness. You're right. My bad.
All right, and then of course, I'm not even gonna bother introducing myself. Everybody knows who I am. Fuck it. Okay. Tonight, we're going to discuss, each person's going to discuss at least one movie or 2 movies. We're going to try to keep this a shorter type of podcast. We're not going to bore people. We're not going to stretch it out for 2 hours. When we're done, we're done. So, Fee, since you're new, this is your first podcast, we're going to start with you. Tell us a movie you recently watched and give us your honest review.
So I'm going to go with something really campy. Probably a lot of people have not seen it because they might think it's a remake or something like that. Sleepaway Camp 4.
I love that movie.
Yep. Sleepaway Camp 4, very, very campy. But at the same time, you see Felicia Rose as an adult. I met her over at my very first convention, and she is a sweetheart. She was so excited to find out this was my first convention. She is just a really, really awesome person. And I just loved the movie because it was an extension of the very original one. I wish they had brought her back in the second and the third instead of kind of making it a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of 2 kind of series. So I really like to see that Sleepaway Camp 4 where it was an extension of the first.
And it's a very hard movie to find now.
It's on Prime right now. I think I paid like $4.99. I just had
they put it back.
Yeah, they put it back. So you can I believe it's purchased at $4.99 right now still. But it's worth a watch.
And they like she said, they brought some of the original characters back, and it's actually got some comedy in there too. Like get used to the phrase "your ass stinks," calling people blowjob. So there's some funny moments in that one for sure.
Nice,
but a really funny movie.
Yeah, she doesn't play kind of like she plays a grown-up version of herself. There's a little bit of awkwardness in there from like, her original character, but she's more standoffish in this one.
Oh, definitely.
She's kind of mousy in the original one, right? Sort of like meek and kind of like a bit of a pushover.
Yeah, she was meek, kind of a pushover, but, kind of secretly had the evil eye. She's not so much playing that in here. She's really playing the, why are you kind of bothering me? Why do you want to hang out with me kind of thing? Why are you asking me these weird questions?
Right.
So a little bit more down to earth.
Cool.
And if you like Sleepaway Camp, that actually ties in pretty well because I've got something for you here. And let me pull it up. Oh, it should come up any second. I don't know why it didn't yet.
Attention campers, this is the final call to convene the mess hall for the goodbye ceremony. Let's move! Let's move! Move! That means you, Tommy.
Look at my bald stick face.
Good afternoon, campers! Well, these might be our final moments together this summer at Briarbrook. The fun isn't over yet.
Now, we all know the story. 42 years ago, Nurse Agatha gets kicked out of Camp Briarbrook. This eerie calm takes over the forest. Now, I know we've all been trying to bring this hag back for years. We prick our finger, hold up to the sky, and scream her name. Agatha! Something fucking horrible has happened. You can hear me. Please meet in the mess hall.
Do you think maybe the ritual thing might have caused...
Lauren, she's not real. There is no Agatha. She would lure the children from their bunks by night, collecting their blood in jars that she hung from the tree. I'm telling you, we hunt the hag. All right, screw it. Let's go.
Here.
Try not to die tonight.
What the hell happened? Hey, buddy! Hey, stop the fucking car, man! Hey, man, keep the car running! People are dead, you fucking idiot! You have the faintest idea what you've done. I didn't get the fucking picture! Ah! What does she want? A leg! I get
Now, that trailer.
That's a fun trailer.
If you like Sleepaway Camp, you'll like this movie. My wife and I watched it yesterday. It's got its humor. It's funny. It's got a great little cast to it. And there's a lot of nods to Sleepaway Camp. In case you didn't notice in the trailer.
Can I just ask a real stupid question? Are they kind of positioning her as a Candyman sort of or Bloody Mary sort of character in this movie?
I don't want to give it away. It's a little maybe a little combo of both.
Yeah, don't give it away. That's fair. Okay.
But there are a couple of twists. and Paul must have seen it. He says it's a fun movie. It definitely is, dude. I give it a 4 out of 5, definitely, and it's on Tubi. You can't beat it. It's free.
Nice.
You don't have to pay anything for it. Just download Tubi, search for it, and you're good to go. You'll definitely not regret watching it. That's for certain. So, all right,
Beautiful.
Kaneda, what do you got?
So I just recently watched Late Night with the Devil finally, with starring David Dasmalchian. I can't pronounce the dude's name. I'm sorry, but anyways, he played the polka dot guy in Suicide Squad. So basically, what it is, it's the story of what's that?
You want me to play the trailer?
Sure.
Give everybody a little idea.
Yeah, why not?
All right, here we go. We got a clip.
Back in 5, 4. Now, here's Mr. Midnight, Jack Talon.
Oh, good evening, Night Owls, and thank you for allowing me into your living rooms once again. Well, Night Owls, we've got a heck of a show in store for you tonight, and I'm very excited for you to see it all unfold before your very eyes. I really hope you love it. Gosh, I hope you love it. Please love it. Love it.
I'm trying to host a nationally syndicated talk show, and I'm trying to help you keep it on the air.
We all know how important it is to keep our sponsors and affiliates happy, but in my humble opinion, there is only one person who really matters in this whole darn crazy business. And that is you, our viewer.
You're meddling with things you don't understand.
Whoa! Now, as you know, here on Night Owls, we think it's very important to keep an open mind. Please welcome Dr. June Ross Mitchell and Lily, the young subject of the book, Conversations with the Devil.
I really don't think it's a good idea, Jack. It's becoming more unpredictable.
That's a good thing. That's why we still do live TV. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for a live television first as we attempt to commune with the devil.
Lily, can you hear me?
Good to see you again, Jack.
Lily, return to me.
This isn't about ratings anymore. No one's going anywhere.
How could you let it happen, Jack? How could you let it happen?
Please be warned, anyone with young children in the room. What you're about to see. You okay, Jack? It's profoundly disturbing and shocking.
You get out there, Mr. Midnight. And you knock him dead.
There we go.
That was
Let me help.
Yeah. So I heard a lot of talk about this movie for weeks, and I was very excited to watch it. And I finally got the time to sit down and watch the movie over the last week or so. And it's pretty good. It's not maybe what I expected, but to give just like a real quick overview, it's the after some personal loss, this late night TV show host by the name of Jack Delroy, he comes back to after taking some time away, and he's been constantly chasing after Johnny Carson, trying to get that #1 spot. And when he comes back, he has a large Halloween event where they want to try and tap into the devil, and he brings on some people that are some guests that are, one of them's like a mentalist, the other one's a not a psychic, but he's kind of he's a psychic, or not a psychic. Sorry, he's a skeptic, and he's trying to like debunk these things. And he's actually definitely he was definitely tailored after somebody who's really actually used to do this stuff back in the 70s. Which is pretty cool. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but I do remember seeing him. And Dredd, we don't need your kind of nonsense in here right now. We should ban him. But anyway, one of the things that I think this movie really did really well is they really felt like you were watching a late night TV show. It's really, really cool. The presentation is just it's impeccable, in my opinion. If it looked everything that from the fashion to the set design to the commercial breaks, it all looked and felt like something from the 70s, and it was really, really cool. Personally, I think that was like the bigged draw that brought people into this movie. It wasn't particularly scary. Not that much is to me, because I probably all of us, we've all grown up and we kind of feed on these things, so it's really hard to kind of get under our skin. But this movie didn't really do that to me. It didn't do it to my wife, who can get kind of wiggy about this sort of stuff. But they did set a really great tone and a really great atmosphere, but is what made it feel like such a good, enjoyable viewing experience, in my opinion. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a phenomenally well-made horror film, but it is a really good atmospheric film, I guess, if you understand, if you get what I'm saying. I do think it's well worth a watch. And so, some of the performances are really, really great. And it kind of poses this really interesting question of, how much of the stuff that they show in these sorts of things are about when they talk about, the afterlife or demonic possession, how much is real, how much is fake or staged, that sort of thing. And there's like a lot of that sort of thing going on there. But I do think it's well worth the watch. And I hope that some of you guys who maybe watch it would, ping me and let me know what you think about it. Cause, it was a good movie. I'm not disappointed to watch it. I probably won't watch it again. But have any of you guys watched it?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, I did too.
What'd you
I
guys
caught
think?
it halfway through.
Okay.
So Fuzzy came down while I was watching it.
Okay.
I had it in my queue for a while. So I thought, okay, I'll watch this while I do something else. That's sometimes, after you watch thousands of horror movies, it's kind of like,
yeah,
how is this new? Let me see if it catches my attention, kind of thing. So I watched it. I will say it's not, for me, rewatchable after you watch it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It has some familiar themes from other movies. It is, I would say the best kind of theatrical version of some of the talk shows that the Warrens were on. And it did give that feel that there was a skeptic, and then they bring all of these other people to kind of like try and debunk the skeptic, and they go back and forth with each other and try and prove who actually is telling the truth or not on live air. It did give that feel. But as far as I would say, kind of like kind of a twist at the end. I don't really think it's as spectacular as I've seen maybe some non-horror fans, some people that just kind of watch horror once in a while, were so excited about. I think a true horror person is not going to see the ending as the real twist that they're kind of hoping and expecting and getting excited about.
It's sort of horror light, right? Like for
Yeah.
the people that aren't like really deep into certain types of horror films, but maybe kind of like a little bit of a creep factor to it here and there. But that was the impression I had too.
Yeah, and I honestly think, true horror fans should watch it because they can relive, that experience with Rosemary's Baby. You can relive some of like The Sentinel and a few other movies. It really does capture that kind of time period really well. And there is good acting in it. I'm not going to say there isn't. But if you're looking for that twist, that excitement at the end, I think that's going to be a letdown for true horror fans if they don't know that ahead of time.
And you're probably going to have it figured out in the first 20, 30 minutes anyway.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't take long to figure out the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me, it was just seeing it from probably about the midway point. It was enough to catch my attention. But like he said, there wasn't any like big surprises, but it was a interesting take, like she said, with the back and forth as far as for, the hypnotists and stuff like that. But kudos to them for giving it like time period, clothing and set dressing and all that stuff. That was like a nice added touch. I mean, didn't watch as much Johnny Carson growing up, but like it definitely felt like, tail end of the 70s, early 80s kind of thing for me.
Oh, it definitely they had the time period down to a T.
Yeah.
They did that really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the ending part, it was kind of like, I wouldn't say it was as predictable because once again, I'm not in as many non-zombie mainstream movies, but like I would say for the most part, I kind of saw where it was going. But missing like the first half, it's probably going to be a rewatch for me from the beginning, obviously, but it'll probably be one of those things while Fee is doing something else, I'll probably, stream through it or something like that. But it's not bad for someone that's not as serious of a horror fan, but wants something that's not going to, have their goosebumps or anything, on the back of their neck type of deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a nice watch, I would say.
The setup on it, which unfortunately you did miss at the very beginning, like that first half, the setup for it is really, really good. Like they knocked it out of the park, in my opinion.
Mm. Yeah, it'll definitely be a fun rewatch for me then.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a good first watch. And the twist, I do agree, the twist wasn't incredibly a surprise. It was a little odd, but I did like the ending.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any more than that. I did like the ending.
Okay.
But it definitely felt like I was watching something from the 70s, that's for sure. The only thing I was missing was bell bottoms and platform shoes.
A little ABBA in the background.
Yeah. Although I was very small. I was born in the 70s,
so was I.
So were we all.
Yeah.
Everybody on the panel is old.
Damn, we're old.
And to answer your question, no, I do not watch anything of Amy Winehouse. The only thing I know about Amy Winehouse is she's a lot like an old Christmas tree. Wherever you remove her from, there's needles everywhere. I've never watched anything about the girl. I have no intention to. And The Nun. I'm here to tell you, dude, I watched the original Nun movie. I would not sit through part 2 of it for anything.
I'm gonna argue with you on that one because the Nun 2 was better than the first one.
Oh, really?
It was. It was.
Wow.
I'm gonna say it was an extension of it. I'm not gonna tell you why. It was an extension of the Nun, but it was better done. There is more focus on the characters themselves rather than the supernatural spirit behind it. So it's not really a mystery kind of thing until you start to get into it.
Yeah, the first one put me to sleep. It didn't even put my dog to sleep.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
I felt the same way, but the Nun 2 was actually, I mean, really sequels. The second one is most of the time bad, but this one was actually, they put more thought into it to make it more creative.
Dead Dealer says The Nun 2 is better by default. That's not a compliment. I get your point. I really do. Because the first one was so horribly boring. It was just slow. So bad.
It was slow. It didn't do anything until almost the end. You weren't even sure what was going on half the time.
And then by the time it got to the end, I didn't care anymore. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. I will admit I turned it off.
They call those slow burns. Yeah, it's just too slow. Way too slow.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I ended up turning it off because I was tired and I just never went back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cammy, the Nun did come. It did come from the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
And yeah, Slither was okay.
I liked Slither. But I was young when I watched it, so who doesn't like Michael Rooker in there? You know what I'm saying?
And what was the other one? Smile. Yeah, Smile was creepy. It reminded me of the old Black Hole Sun music video.
So I'm gonna throw Fuzzy under the bus on this one. He didn't really like it.
Wait, which one? What, Slither or
Smile?
Oh, yeah. Was that the one? Okay, I think that was the one that I kind of thought was a little predictable. I that was the psychiatrist or something, and she had a patient.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't bad. It's just that it felt too predictable for me. Like, I don't know. I was hoping it would.
Made it.
Yeah, I was hoping it would, be a little more creepy for me, but it wasn't.
Got to hand it to
I guess
their
I've seen
marketing
too many. I wouldn't say too many crazy people, but too many people that have, started to see things. I guess I've encountered too many people in my life that have done that. So it was like, oh, we're going to go with this. He's going to say that, and they're like, oh, okay. So it wasn't bad. It's just that's why some of the horror movies don't land with me as well, because it's like I'm the guy that's yelling out. I'm like, why are you running up the stairs instead of out the front door, kind of thing? Or like, all right, this isn't going to end well. They just broke a mirror, and you're walking closer to them. What do you think is going to happen, kind of deal? But no, it wasn't bad. It's just wasn't what I was hoping it would be. I was hoping it would, either have a few more jump scares, or at least a jump scare that actually gets me to jump. Kind of.
It was like watching a Paranormal Activity movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. And let's see, what was the other one somebody had asked about? Here we go. What's a horror movie you loved in your younger years, but now as an adult you say to yourself, what were you thinking? I can't think of one, actually.
No, if I loved it when I was a kid, I love it today. Trust me.
Yeah, that's like the Evil Dead. I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
I can still watch it. I've probably watched it 400 times by now.
Yeah. Same with me.
Maybe more than that.
A shitload of fucking movies from back then, man. Like one of them, one of my movies I watch probably twice a year is Return of the Living Dead.
Yes, part 2.
It's 1 or 2. I don't care which one. I'll just watch it because I love it. I have Tarman tattooed on my arm.
The funny part of that is it was filmed where I grew up as a kid in Louisville.
Oh, sweet.
And I remember in the 80s, man, going to school and you would see all those people dressed up on the sidewalks and shit.
Nice.
It was just weird.
That's awesome.
But now I live in Wilmington where they film, like all the Halloween movies have been filmed here. They film a ton of movies here.
Nice.
So it's crazy. I can't get away from movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nothing happens here.
Yeah, I can't think of any movies that when I was younger that I wouldn't watch now either. If I loved it then, I loved it now.
I feel like it's one of those things where if you loved it as a kid, you're gonna love it as an adult because it's part of your childhood. It's your fabric of what made you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say that. And like, there's a movie my wife and I, no matter what, every once in a while we just get the urge to watch it. And that's House of a Thousand Corpses. I mean, just remember, we watched it the other night.
Yeah.
No rhyme or reason. We're like, hey, let's watch it again. And my wife's worse about it than I am.
I didn't love that one, to be honest with you. I thought the other ones, I thought the later movies were better.
I did like the later ones too, but
The
House of a Thousand Corpses was pretty good.
Was interesting, but that last one now, oh my god, what do you call it? The 3? That one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that one.
You didn't like the shoot off, the standoff at the end, kind of thing.
It was okay. It wasn't like the original.
Anytime Freebird's playing in the background, you gotta love it, right?
Oh, I love it.
No, dude, I'm from the South. I hate Freebird.
Oh my god.
I live in North Carolina, dude. I get so sick of hearing Freebird. That's one thing I heard enough as a kid. I'm tired of as an adult.
They never play it up here on the radio. It's too long.
Jesus Christ, it's all we used to hear on the radios here.
That's why you got to go on YouTube and just put in Freebird and just put it on repeat.
Yep, that's right.
No, but I will agree. Devil's Reject, I think, was the best of the three. But House of a Thousand Corpses, Karen Black was awesome in that.
Karen Black is pretty good in just about anything.
Remember Terror of Trilogy of Terror?
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
And she was in one of the Children of the Corn movies. The whole movie was bad except for her role.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, and Billy Drago, he was the only good part in Children of the Corn. When he was in that one, he's about the only thing that was awesome about that movie.
I agree.
Yeah, but I also loved him in Mirror Mirror. He was in one of the Mirror Mirror series. Can't remember which one. I don't know if it was 3 or 4. I'm really dating myself right now. But Mirror Mirror was a series. It had Karen Black in the first one as well. Following a girl, dark mirror, and things happen around her, because of the spirit inside. It's a really good movie if you can watch it, and I think they made 1 through 4. I think it was. And you can get them on DVD. They're hard to find, but it's an awesome series if you can find it.
I don't remember those, but I think I own all the others, other series on a disc and digital now.
Yeah,
Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, I was so lucky to find it back in, I think, the early 2000s.
Is there a horror movie cliche that bugs you?
No,
No, not really.
not for me either.
No. Although now people are catching on. A lot of movies, in the 80s, the girl that never partied, the virginal girl, always got away.
Mm-hmm.
And the partiers were always getting killed. And we found out later on as we got older, they did that on purpose when they made those movies to try to warn people about living that way. You would die and have bad things happen to you.
Yeah.
But now, most movies, the bad people, they all die. So it evens out eventually. But there's another one I want to share with everybody really quick. Let me pull the trailer up here. This is an interesting movie.
Time for this evening's entertainment.
Tell me, where y'all from? We live in Calabasas.
Well, we ain't had genuine visitors here in years.
Maybe we could just use your telephone?
We got gas, honey.
You folks will probably want to leave first thing in the morning.
It's cozy. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Do you have any dreams? Don't you want to get out of this place? I haven't thought about it much.
Something just doesn't feel right.
I get the distinct impression we're not wanted here.
So what you got in there anyway?
That's our business, none of yours.
Oh, he has a shotgun. Mom, why are you doing this?
Something awesome in this house.
What did you do, huh? What did you do?
Family always eats together.
I'm gonna make this slow.
Help me!
Run! All y'all are monsters!
Now, I'm going to tell you, that movie, I was actually kind of surprised. It's not the greatest movie you'll ever watch, but there's a couple of twists in there. It was definitely interesting. It kept me and my wife entertained for the hour and a half runtime.
Mm-hmm.
And, usually in those movies, you see the dirty, greasy rednecks there, you automatically think they're going to be the killers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not so much this time. So it's definitely worth a watch. Like I said, just for the twist. It has a little bit of everything in it. The dad's really kind of funny, and the way these people talk to each other through the movie, it just kind of makes you laugh and giggle. It's not overly gory. It's really not scary, but it's a fun movie. And I definitely recommend watching it. Like you saw in the trailer, it's on Tubi, so it doesn't cost you a dime. So it's definitely worth a watch. I'd give it an easy 4 out of 5. But the ending did kind of shock me. I was a little surprised by how it ended, because it ended in a way I didn't expect. But part of it I did, but then the other part I was like, no, that shouldn't have happened, but it did. So it's still definitely a good watch.
Nice.
Has anybody else watched it?
No, not yet. But I definitely want to add it to the watch list. So B, please remind me, because I'll probably forget.
All
It's
right.
what, Low Lives?
Yeah, Low Lives.
Okay. Yeah.
And like Paul said, I've been saying it for a while now. There's tons of movies on Tubi.
Mhm.
I mean, the catalog is unbelievable. And they make a lot of their own movies as well. So you can always find something on there to watch. And if you're like me, I've got, Jesus Christ, I think like 4,000 movies digitally. And I don't even remember how many I've got on disc. After a while, you get tired of buying really bad movies, because I've bought a lot of really bad movies. And, once you watch them, you don't get a refund. And so we went to some of these streaming apps and started, looking for movies, because we have all these streaming apps anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So at least if you don't like it, you just delete it and move on. It didn't cost you anything. So, but definitely Low Lives is a fun movie to watch. And Fuzzy, you have not told us about a movie yet.
No.
Oh, I would say one of the more recent ones that I saw in the theater with Fee was Evil Dead Rising, which it was one of those where I'm a fan of the Evil Dead series, but that being like one of their new like reboots or whatever, wanted to check it out. Thought it would with it being like a whole different cast of characters or a different setup. You got you still have the book in it and stuff like the previous Evil Deads, but it was just weird with the kid kind of, how he came across the book. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, you should know anytime you go into some place and it's like, oh, why is this book like wrapped up and hidden somewhere? Should I touch it? Should I take it and read out of it or something? And sure enough, but it was a cool change up from like the original stories and things like that. But yeah, things went left real quick. Like the apartment setup, because I think it kept things close without having to have things hide in the woods or anything along those lines, or in the basement or anything like that. But the neighbors were interesting as far as the ones that tried to help, and then once everybody kind of got changed or converted, it made things a good bit interesting. And the attempt to escape and stuff like that towards the end, that was a fun ending, I guess you could say, to how they did away with the ones chasing them and stuff. But yeah, I think it was a nice twist or a nice change up or retelling of that same type of story. I mean, all the plot points are kind of the same. It's just the more of a modern take in an apartment building. I think it was a cool setup.
Anybody else watch it besides me and you? Okay, good. I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
No, because I grew up on Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It kind of broke my heart. At least the remake they did in 2015. at least that was still somewhat scary.
Yeah.
You know, I love that one. I've got posters of it up behind me on the wall. If you remember the days when I used to do webcams every day, you probably remember seeing them. This new one just did not do it for me at all, man. I just couldn't. I didn't like the fact they had it in an apartment building. It had its cool moments,
Yeah.
but there just wasn't enough Kandarian demon running around. You know what I mean? I kind of miss, her being locked in the basement or somebody being locked in the basement screaming, "I'll swallow your soul." I don't know, dude. It didn't sit well with me. And my wife said the same thing. She's like, "Well, that kind of sucked." The ending, I do agree. The ending was interesting, but I don't know, man. I think they're redoing so many of these movies now. They're just, I don't know. Some of them I've just lost hope.
I didn't feel that it was a remake of anything at all because the other movies still feel like they're canon and part of this world.
So
Yeah.
I think it was they were expanding on the universe because it was a new director. Sam Raimi was not attached to this and it wasn't a remake. So it was really expansion because they have 2 more coming out.
Yeah.
He's pretty much signed. This new director signed up for 2. Bruce Campbell can't do it anymore. He's already said that. He said he would do another one if Sam Raimi were to be a director. But Sam Raimi, he's moved on to his more mainstream
Spider-Man
comic stuff and everything. And it's popular, and I don't blame him. I don't blame Sam Raimi for capitalizing on that. I mean, you should have seen over at Monster Mania when me and Fuzzy went there. His line was in comparison to almost in comparison to what you would have Robert Englund have as a line. It was, and he was only there for 2 days, and people were wrapped around the corner. So, like I said, I don't blame him, but this new director is trying to expand on the fact that he doesn't have Ash anymore, and he's trying to branch out into a more serious. Do I think it was scary? No, but I think it was very consistent and cohesive all the way through the movie. The ending makes sense, to the beginning, and in the middle, it is a different theme. It's motherhood. It's not a romantic thing like the first 2 were, and everything. So I just think they're trying to do something different, and it's not going to play well with everybody. I get that, but I think it's a throwback. Really, the gore of it is really a throwback more towards Dead Alive than anything. I don't even think Evil Dead, the first and second one, was that bloody compared to.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, compared to Dead Alive. Remember that one? Blood everywhere.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time. God, I'm old.
I'm pretty sure this movie ties in with the originals in that if I'm not mistaken, there were 3 books talked about at some point, and they've been scattered across wherever. And this is the 3rd book. So, like, the first one was with our original Ash. The second one was, I think, with our second version of Ash. And then the 3rd one is the one that we got in Evil Dead Rise. So I'm pretty sure that they're all connected. And it's pretty cool. I think it's cool. I'm excited to see where they go with the franchise. And Bruce Campbell was actually in Rise as well. He was one of the priests on the recordings, I think, if I remember correctly. So yeah, he had a small little part in there. I'm pretty sure also correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a little while, but in the original or the second one, Ash is listening to a recording of like a priest or
The professor reads it.
Yeah.
That's it. The professor. I'm pretty sure that person also is the same voice on some of the other recordings that you hear in Rise as well. So I'm confident that they're all canon, part of the same universe, which is, I think, really cool. And that's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed it too. But also, I'm a big fan of gore. I did like the remake of Evil Dead, the quote unquote remake with the girl in the basement. Man, she was creepy as shit. And it's not often that like the hairs on the back of my neck will stand up. But
And when the girl was in the bathroom and she started just slicing her skin off.
Yeah, like it's not often that a movie will do that to me. That is probably the last time a movie did. But like when she's sticking her face out and she's kind of like looking at you with those dead, crazy yellow eyes, it's just a chef's kiss right there. It's fucking.
Yeah, she looks a lot like my mother-in-law. And it's creepy.
I'm not telling your wife that.
My mother-in-law looked like that dude. I've never married my wife.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Rise. So
that was I guess for me, it's a nostalgia thing. I've watched the original so many times. It's hard to let go.
Right.
Like Paul just said, Jaws is horror, and one of his movies he watches twice a year. I can't stand that damn movie, and I'll tell you why. All they had to do is get the fuck out of the water. Movie's done. That's it.
Yeah.
You didn't need a bigger boat. You just need to get the fuck out of the water. That's all. You got your ass up on the beach, you'd have been fine. Wouldn't even been an issue. Didn't need all those other movies.
What's the shark movie that Jason Statham did?
Megalodon, the Meg.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Meg and Meg 2. See, you can't get out of the water for that one.
That's true. Not easily.
Oh God, Death makes a good point. Cabin Fever. If anything, they remade it worse. Did you ever watch part 2 of that? Where they had like the contaminated drinking water they took to the high school dance?
Yeah.
That was filmed here at the school my kids went to. Actually, high school.
Was it filmed at one of your customers' locations?
Now the Prom. Oh my God, that movie, it was so bad and so corny. I admit I've watched it a couple of different times just because it was corny. But I think we watched it a couple of times because it was filmed here. But
Makes sense.
My God. And yes, the remake, I don't know, the remake was odd. But the original, I kind of liked the original. I felt bad for the girl when he locked her out in the shed. I mean, I think anybody would do that to a friend, though. I mean, if you thought she was going to give you something that's going to make you, your skin fall off, probably drag your friend out to the shed, too. I think most people would.
Yeah.
And then the dog starts eating her and shit. I mean, that's... But that's friendship for you. Hey, I don't know if you guys hear all that thunder in the background or not. Hopefully we don't lose power.
No,
we got some crazy storms here tonight.
Yeah, we had rain, I think, pretty much the past 2 nights. Luckily, we're in the clear now, or at least for today.
We're supposed to get rain here for like the next 7 days, I think, because Canada in spring is fucking wonderful.
It said the last scary movie he watched was Ernest Scared Stupid. Oh my God, dude! Did you watch it in VR, Pest? That's the question. The shaving scene, yes, that was a really good scene in that movie. That was an awesome scene in it. Boogie says, did you know the same guy who played Jason Kane Hodder also played the killer in Hatchet? Yes. And do you think Jason Voorhees versus Michael Myers movie could work?
No.
Why not? They did a Freddy versus Jason. I wasn't a huge fan of it either, but they did it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I just think Freddy would win.
He would. I agree with you. There's no question. Freddy would win. but I still really enjoyed the hell out of it because that was that was a wet dream of my childhood, right? Like, oh my god, I would love to see Jason versus Freddy in like in a fight, right? Like, I hadn't with all my friends, we were always like, oh, Jason would win, this is why, or we'd get like, oh, Freddy would win, this is why. And to see two like the titans of my childhood finally come together on the big screen, I was giddy as fuck that day that I got to go see that movie. I was beyond excited. And I definitely still watch. I don't watch like every year or anything like that, but I definitely watch it every now and then. If I see it come up in my list, I'm cycling through something, I'll put it on.
But now it would be interesting if they put them together, put Michael and Jason, and then Freddy, and then throw in Leatherface.
Yeah,
but Leatherface, really, he's just a mortal guy though.
That's right. I don't think he would last long. I think his brute strength wouldn't. I don't think his brute strength even compares to Jason's or Michael's for that matter.
Yeah.
He wouldn't last that long.
I don't know about that. I mean, the thing with Leatherface is that I don't really think he feels that much pain. I think his pain receptors have been dulled.
But he is human.
Yeah, he is human. But at the same time, I just in my kind of mind, Jason and Michael Myers, I since they're both so similar to each other, I could just see them swapping stories and that's it, and ganging up on the other two. That's really what I think.
But then once they knock each other out, then Freddy's got their ass.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think they would gang up on Freddy, and after that, just be best friends.
I mean, the dude turned into a television.
Yeah. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Exactly.
One of the greatest lines ever uttered by that guy, for real.
Yeah.
I actually met Robert Englund at Comic-Con here in Ottawa about 5 or 6 years. Mm-hmm. And I got to be honest. I also met Kane Hodder as well, which was fucking cool as shit. So I got to meet two of my guys, right? And I was like tongue-tied because like these are guys that I just grew up loving the hell out of. Because Kane Hodder for me is I think he's the best Jason who's ever existed.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I got to meet him, and he's really like he's still a big man, and he's really, really nice, really cool. But Robert Englund is the most kind person ever. Like, he wants to give you all the time he can possibly give to you. And like, he'll sit there and he'll talk, and he's just like, what did you like? What was your favorite movie? Like, all right, what's your favorite line? And I was like, welcome to prime time, bitch. He's like so good, right? And he wrote down his autograph to me was, welcome to prime time, bitch. Love, Freddy. And I'm like, fucking right, man. Like, it's so good. And like the people, like the handlers they kept having to remind him, Robert, we got to keep the line moving, got to keep it going. And he just wanted to talk to everybody. And I really love and respect that. I think that's so cool.
I don't know if it's true. I read it somewhere that the day, oh God, what's his name? Clive Barker,
yeah.
When he passed away, that he actually placed the original Freddy gloves in the casket with him.
Huh. I haven't heard that.
Because Robert Englund supposedly had the original gloves from the first movie. And he placed the gloves in the casket with him.
Wow.
I read that somewhere a couple of years ago.
So wait a minute. He placed gloves in whose casket?
Clive Barker.
Clive?
Guy who created Hellraiser.
Wait a minute. I
Was it?
I could have swore that Clive Barker's going to be at Monster Mania.
Well, whoever it was, God, I don't even remember who did Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wes Craven.
Oh, Wes Craven.
That's it, Wes Craven. I got the two confused.
Yeah. I was confused about that because
I thought about it after I said it. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's been a long work day here for me, folks.
No,
I just got working like 30 minutes before the show.
Yeah, I get it. I'm a high school teacher, so my brain is a little fried at the end of the day. But I will say this: if anybody's interested, So Robert England's going to be August over at Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I'll be honest with you, going to be a long line.
It's worth it.
Yeah, his VIP passes. So what the guys did for the ticket for the VIP tickets for Monster Mania, where Robert's going to be, they split it up into, you can have your VIP exclusively for Robert England, or you can do just a general VIP skip the line pass. And things were sold out. I think all VIP were sold out in less than 7 minutes.
I believe it.
For all 3 days.
Yeah,
so,
that's not surprising.
Yeah, but if you get in the line, as soon as you get there early or whatever and get in that line, you can probably still see him and still get autographs and stuff like that. He's still doing, you can still sign up for a photo op. At least you can get a photo with him for the photo op. It's not as personal as seeing him and talking to him to get that autograph, but Clive Barker's going to be there. They're having a Nightmare on Elm Street reunion, and it's
Nice.
August 2nd to 4th.
Is Heather Langenkamp going to be there too?
Yes.
Oh fuck!
Well,
That's
she
awesome.
has to be there, dude.
Several, yes. Mhm.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I'm hoping to work it to volunteer and everything, like I did last time. Trying to get Fuzzy to work it too.
They give you like extra special perks for that.
So yeah. So I usually get a VIP because I get him one in case he doesn't work it.
Right.
You still get to skip the line. You still get to skip the line for one, person, one celebrity and stuff. But there's that community and camaraderie if you volunteer for the events. Best experience I've ever had in any type of volunteering situation and stuff. They were so nice from the minute I got there. Even the night before the crowds came in. So if you guys were to want to volunteer for something like that, New Jersey Con does it. Monster Mania, they have one is in, they're gonna have 2 in Cherry Hill. We went to the first one, and then the one in August. Then they're gonna have one over in Baltimore, Maryland. That's one in October. Then they have in Oaks, PA. They have one, and I think that's the one where they're gonna have Scream reunion or
Nice.
Aliens.
They did the Scream reunion at Fan Expo in Toronto last year.
Yeah, so they're gonna have another one because they're doing Matthew Lillard's gonna be in October. So I believe they're doing the Scream one in Baltimore, and then they do the Aliens one over in Oaks. So they're getting as many previous from the first one.
Nice.
So yeah, I'd say check it out, even if you don't want to volunteer or anything like that. Check it out because they have some really good celebrities. Kadir got to meet Michael Ironside. Fuzzy got to meet Michael Ironside.
Yep.
Sweet.
Just sadly, it's way too far away from me.
It's a little far for me too.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything like that. Well, every once in a while we'll get something in Raleigh. It's more like a anime type thing, and that just doesn't interest me at all.
The guy that played Kincaid in a couple of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, he's supposed to be at a really local con that's happening here in, I think, August. Like, it's literally just up the road. It's at a small town that I live nearby. I might go check it out just to get his autograph because, the Dream Warriors is actually my favorite. Is my favorite Nightmare movie. So,
I mean, they were all good, and yeah, Dream Warriors was one of the better ones. Definitely.
Yeah. So like the dude, he's like sleepwalking at night, but he's got veins being ripped out of his arms, and that's how Freddy's controlling him.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant.
And yes, Michael Ironside plays Sam Fisher.
Yeah. That was the main thing I was trying to get his autograph for him being like playing Sam Fisher and try to see if there was any info on a future Splinter Cell and stuff like that. But
I don't think
also Scanners was pretty cool. I remember that growing up. Scanners. There's been so many other movies.
Total Recall.
Yeah, Total Recall.
Oh yeah, he's been in tons and tons of movies.
I think he was also in Starship Troopers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think he was the sergeant or something like that. But
that's right.
Yeah, it's cool going to those types of events. It's almost like for me, I'm a big car guy, and I used to go to like SEMA and then just like local car shows and Cars and Coffee and stuff like that. But to get to see some of the celebrities and the movies you grew up on, it's like, yeah, cool.
I wish we had them here.
Yeah,
I really do. We got lucky one year up in Raleigh, and a couple of people showed up here and there, but I mean nothing major. So it is what it is.
You gotta visit Pennsylvania or New Jersey or something, and that's where they have a lot of them.
I'm surprised you don't have more because the film industry is pretty big down there.
I know that's the edge. You think we would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But we really, Jamie Lee Curtis stayed here for like a year when they were filming the Halloween movies. And they filmed tons of them here. But I guess when they killed Brandon Lee during the original Crow movie here, maybe they decided, they didn't want a lot of them coming here.
The anniversary of that movie comes out is this Friday or Saturday, actually.
Well, this is where Brandon Lee died.
I did not know that. No.
Yeah, he died here at our movie studio because they were somehow or another something got into the gun. It's supposed to be a blank.
Yeah,
and it fired out and actually, went in and killed him.
Yeah,
it happened right here in good old Wilmington, North Carolina.
I didn't realize that it happened there. I knew it had happened, and I remember like one of the big things about it back in the day was that this is they had to film or they had to do some parts of this with like computer graphics to kind of replace him, and it was a big deal that they had done that. That's going back so far back.
And
right?
the funny part, he's not the only one. This has nothing to do with the genre. But Ric Flair, of all people, Ric Flair was flying here back in the 90s, and his airplane crashed in my town.
Really?
Yes. Wow. So, we managed to kill Brandon Lee and almost killed Ric Flair.
Jeez.
I realized that when I did watch his autobiography a couple of weeks ago. And he was talking about how he got, came to Wilmington because he's actually from, North Carolina. And he was flying here and crashed before they got to the airport.
God damn.
So maybe that's why they don't have a lot of the, people here.
You guys tried to kill Nate. What's that all about?
But yeah, it would be awesome to have them there. But we just don't. We've got all these new buildings and coliseums and all this stuff. Maybe we'll get lucky in the next year or two. Yeah, we had Weird Al in September last year, so there's hope.
Okay. Yeah, they definitely need to have something out there. Like, I just knowing that. Well, not necessarily knowing that area, but just knowing how North Carolina has grown over the years. Like, being a big NASCAR fan, just knowing how much is in that state area. It's like I'm surprised they don't have more conventions and things like that. Whether it be car related or horror related, things along those lines.
Well, those are all up in Charlotte, near the racetrack.
Yeah.
So they do have huge ones up in Charlotte. Charlotte's 5 hours away.
Oh wow.
I'm right near the Myrtle Beach line, dude.
Oh, okay.
South Carolina. I'm here. I'm the little tip of North Carolina sticks out in the water. That's where my happy ass lives.
Yeah, I see tons in Tennessee. I see tons in Chicago, California. But you're right. North Carolina, nope.
Yep, told you. And it could be the Southern Baptist, too.
Yeah.
So, we literally just got the lottery here a few years ago. And guess what? The 15th of last month, they allowed that betting site.
Oh, like DraftKings or something.
Yes. Now it's all over everywhere.
Yeah,
now everybody's
it's gonna
betting
get
on
worse.
sports. Oh yeah, dude. I've seen other commercials. Bet 360 and all kinds of them.
Mm-hmm.
And ESPN has one apparently.
Yeah.
And I don't watch sports, so that sucks.
Dude, up in Ontario, I don't know about the rest of Canada, but in Ontario, it's like, I'm not even shitting you. It's about every second commercial is a fucking betting ad. It's retarded. It's so bad. I hate it.
But on that note, we've talked about a few different movies. I want to throw one other one in. I don't have the trailer for it. Check out the movie Vile. Vile. It's on Tubi. It's an older movie. But if you like the movie Saw, you'll get a kick out of this one.
Okay.
It's they take a lot from Saw. They really do. But this one's just not as brutal, but it's still good to watch.
Nice.
So
that first Saw with the twisted plot at the end kind of thing. That was awesome. So I'll definitely check out
those movies so much.
Yeah.
I like all the Saw movies as well, but nothing's been able to get past that first one. That one is just so masterfully crafted. Like, I was blown away when Jigsaw stood up at the end. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Wow, that's amazing. Like,
oh yeah. Well, that was James Wan. Did he do he did the first one too, didn't he? He did them all.
James Wan? Did he?
No, he did one. I swear I think he did the first one.
I don't think James Wan did the first one. Oh yeah, you're right. He did. James Wan and Lee Wanell. They worked together on some of the not Conjuring, but what's the other one with that guy? Shit. I'm trying to remember now. I can't remember off the top of my head now. Anyway, he's the two of them have collaborated and done some work on a whole bunch of those movies. They did do The Conjuring and Insidious.
Yep. And he's got a new movie coming out next year called Megan 2.0.
Right. And he's also, if I'm not mistaken, he was the guy who did, or he's part of the new Salem's Lot movie.
That will be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't care for Spiral either, Paul. It wasn't that great. Not by a long shot.
Yeah, Megan was a strange one, but I enjoyed that one.
The best part about Megan was that dance. That dance was creepy as hell, and the rest of the movie I didn't care for.
It's just Chucky 2.0.
Exactly. She was a tall Chucky.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Shit, that reminds me. I got to finish watching Chucky season 3.
We just finished it last week. I won't tell you how it ends.
Don't tell me anything. I've been trying to avoid it. I need to finish that. That's my goal for this weekend. My wife can take her reality TV shows and stuff it.
All right, we'll do one more question. Can you guys name an actor or actress you were surprised to see in a horror movie? Mine was Aaron Gray in one of the Jason movies.
It's a good question.
Not really, because a lot of your famous actors started. Kevin Bacon started in Friday the 13th. Johnny Depp started in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Not really. That doesn't really surprise me much.
No, it's the same with Jennifer Aniston. She was in Leprechaun, right?
Yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah. She was in the original Leprechaun movie.
Yeah. And still really hot back then too.
The girl hasn't aged.
I know. She drinks the blood of babies, I'm sure of it.
And she's older than we are.
I know.
That's the sad part.
I know. She looks 100% better than me. Now, I can't think of anyone either that jumps out to me as being someone I never would have thought to see in a horror movie. I think what ends up, because I've grown up with so much like watching so many horror films that it's just kind of like oh yeah, right. I forgot this guy was in this movie or this girl was in this movie. You know,
I didn't realize this till Doom just said it. Leo DiCaprio starred in Critters too. I didn't even put those two together.
I just watched Critters 2 like a couple weeks ago, like at Easter, because it's an Easter film, just for the record.
Oh God.
It is. It takes place at Easter, man. There's an Easter egg hunt and an Easter bunny and all that shit. I don't remember him being in that, but now that
he's probably a kid.
Yeah, no, but now that he mentions it, I do kind of recall that, but I have to double check again, go back and watch it again.
Nah, I'm not. Go ahead.
You don't like Critters? Come on.
It was okay. It just, I don't know. Wasn't my biggest thing.
No way.
Dude says Bruce Campbell is his hero. Dude, there'll never be another Bruce. There'll never be another Ash.
No.
And you know they did add Ash to Call of Duty, by the way.
Sorry. Yeah. DiCaprio was in 3.
Yes, he's in 3.
Not 2.
Well, he's close enough.
That is close enough.
You know, I'm not shocked at, you know, big actors starting off in horror movies and stuff like that. I'm more surprised that they try and disown them.
That is true.
DiCaprio, he has tried to bury Critters 3. Even Jennifer Aniston has made, you know, awful comments about Leprechaun. But that's where they got their start.
Yeah,
exactly. I've never heard Kevin Bacon or Johnny Depp bitch about it.
Yeah.
No.
And you know what? Scott Grimes, I absolutely adore him because, you know, he was so good as a child actor, and I'm really happy that Seth MacFarlane gave him a chance on his the science
American Dad
show. Yeah, he's just so awesome on that, and I'm so happy that he was able to show that as an adult.
He was in Band of Brothers as well.
Yep.
Which is one of my favorite shows. Yeah,
but the thing is, a lot of people keep forgetting that he was in there. But Seth MacFarlane's, you know, the character he wrote for Scott Grimes, you can't forget. He just embodies that part, you know?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Kevin Bacon did a movie last year. I think it's on Peacock.
Yeah.
Called They Them.
Mm-hmm.
If you've not watched it, it's actually a pretty good movie. And it's on Peacock.
It's about a conversion camp, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's scary in itself, conversion camps. Scary in itself. But yeah,
it was an interesting movie.
Yeah, the parts I saw of him, I haven't watched it straight through, but the parts I saw, he's just getting better and better.
Yeah,
except for that one house, that one movie, The House in the Middle. That was kind of boring, but yeah, he's usually pretty good.
Slow burn.
Too slow. See, when you hit a certain age, you can't wait around forever. You don't know how much longer you got.
That's right.
So, you know, you kind of have to speed it along. You know, I want to see something at least the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd tempt fate and watch them anyway.
It's kind of like the gaming industry. You keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing gets better, and you're just like, shit. And then by the end, you're right at the credits, and you're like, damn, it never got any better.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, it did. The credits are here.
Where'd those 80 hours go, or in some cases, where'd those 20 hours go?
Yeah. For me, it's like The Nun or the last Paranormal Activity movie.
Oh.
But folks, that is it. We've gave you several different movies, and that's it. I don't have any more trailers. We talked about a couple, and I'm going to hop off here. And my wife and I are going to be watching a show tonight called Under the Bridge. If you've not seen it, it's actually a pretty good little show. I'm not going to give it away. It's not really scary. It's more of a mystery type thing, but still not a bad show. I think that one's
I'm
on
gonna-
Mac.
Oh, Max.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch Abigail.
I'm not made it all the way through it yet. I started it. We got busy and I turned it off, so I'm not gonna say anything on it yet. Midnight Mass. That was actually a really good series, dude.
So
Yeah.
good.
That was so good. Yes.
And yet it was a slow burn. My wife really had to, hit me in the head a couple of times to get me to keep watching it. But yes, it is such a good damn show.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
So I think we're gonna let Fuzzy get back to his his games.
Oh, geez.
Enjoy your gaming tonight, Fuzzy.
And I'm probably gonna put something classic on, like Black Sheep.
All right.
Alrighty. And on that note, everybody, thanks for tuning in. And we actually had quite the crowd. I'm shocked. Holy crap. And everybody have a great night. We'll see you next Wednesday night with a new list of movies to check out. And try to enjoy the daylight.